The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. She's so good at seeing both sides.
I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm not thinking, I'm just talking.
She sometimes can't see where she's going. It's News-ish with Betty Rock.
If you get a text from the person you're dating that says, quote, "Can we talk?"
Oof.
What does that typically
Gavin and I
mean?
both, oof, we've gotten that text before.
Experience.
Yeah.
What does it typically mean?
It's never good.
No.
It's never like, hey, can we talk about how much I love you? No, you're getting broken up with.
Yep.
Well, December 11th is now considered, when December 11th is today, in case you didn't know, December 11th is now considered breakup day.
Yes.
After years that Facebook statuses were analyzed and found a lot of people were posting about, I just got dumped today.
Yep.
So they know it's typically 2 weeks out from Christmas is when you're shaking your head like this has happened to you before.
No, I did this.
No.
Yes, I did.
You sent the
up.
text?
I broke up with a girl one time 2 weeks before Christmas.
Texting and phones didn't
No, you had to do it face to face back then when it was really hard.
Oh, awkward.
Yeah.
How did it go?
Not good. No, not good.
Also, bless her to say I was dumped by Wally.
I know, really. The bar was low.
So many are questioning, like, why is it that this is such a popular day for breaking up?
I'll let you go through your reasons. I know mine. I'm curious if it made the list.
So here are the few reasons. The holidays are stressful to begin with, and you don't want that one person in your life that stresses you out even more.
No.
So you're just going to dump them, okay?
Not mine.
You don't really want to introduce the person you're dating to your family. Maybe they're an embarrassment, or maybe you just feel like, I just don't want to go through all of that for that person.
Yeah, I get that. They don't rank high enough yet. Okay, not mine.
And then finally, you don't want to buy that person a Christmas gift.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Really?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the girl you were dating,
Yes.
you did not want to buy her a gift,
Yes.
and for that reason alone, you broke up
Yes,
with her.
I was young, okay? So I was really young. It was like high school, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know what to get her. And I didn't want to do something like really cheap or lame. And so I just figured it was easier to break up and not have to give her a gift and then just get together after the holiday.
You got back with her afterwards?
Well, that was my plan.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope she didn't take you back.
She had a different plan. Her present was she went out with Harry.
Yay! Woo!
Yeah. So
Way to sneak in.
Yeah. So I totally get that.
You regret your decision.
Well, no, it led me to great places and a wonderful wife of 31 years. So no, I don't. But I do, you think of things differently, or the stress of getting a gift causes people to break up with each other.
I get it.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's too much, and you want someone who is giving you life instead of, sucking it away from you.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, well, maybe those are your reasons this year. Or, you know what, just turn your phone off today. Because today's, if you're dating someone,
you're not reachable.
I'm out of office today, and then maybe you'll survive this. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. We like to have a little fun with you and get you to tell us stories about your weekend, and then we'll go around the room and give you a boo or a yay. You're trying to get more yays than boos, and sometimes when you tell us your story, we could be booing for you because it was like, oh, that is a bummer. But a lot of times it's jealousy. We're booing your amazing weekend. So let's do a round in the room here. Lady Rock, why don't you give us a story, and Gavin and I will give you a boo or yay.
So back in August, I believe, I adopted another cat. So I now have 2 kittens. Well, they're still babies to me, Buford and Rayford. And because they're still young and active, they usually get me up very early, even for a Saturday. And I would say...
Stop being a single mom.
Right?
You know the struggle.
It is a struggle. Am I right, ladies? Anyway, so typically I would say, even last year, maybe early this year, I would get up at maybe noon on a Saturday. I looked forward to it. I would sleep and sleep and sleep.
Even the cats would look at each other and be like, can you believe this lady?
Yeah. And so
we've been up for an hour.
Since I've adopted a second cat, there's no sleeping in anymore. They wake me up really early. Saturday, they woke me up at 6:15. On a Saturday, 6:15 a.m. I get up. But I didn't turn back around. I actually got up. I got out there with the senior citizens. Yes, I did. There were so many errands I needed to run. I ran up to all these different places, and I got there. Like one place, I got there 30 minutes after they opened, and it was so great because there was no one there.
It's amazing. That's why you go eat at 4:30 in the afternoon. It's fantastic.
Well, and that's the thing. I was even calling my parents, and they were like, because I called them at like 8:30 in the morning.
And they're like, we've been up for 4 hours.
Right, I called them early in the morning.
Paul's already brought in the laundry from the line.
And I told them, I said what I was doing, and they answered the phone. They're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just up and going, you know." But
so funny.
I used to make fun of them all the time for getting up early and going. Now I'm like, I kind of like it.
I'm gonna yay this right out of the gate because you are possibly one of the laziest human beings I know on Saturdays.
Thank you.
Yes, and I know. You have turned it into an art form. Absolutely.
I have to wake up at 4 a.m. every weekday morning.
I get it. You know, Saturday I got up at 5:30 and I got out of bed and went to my garage and was working on my daughter's Christmas present.
That's insane.
Yeah. But so that's just normal for me. So I get it. Welcome to the early hours, the early shift.
I'm here with the senior citizens.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. Like you had all your stuff done and it wasn't even time. Like McDonald's was still serving breakfast.
I got to Chick-fil-A at 10:30, ready to eat lunch.
Yes, exactly. See? That's it. Gavin, booyah.
Oh, it's a simple yay just because I spent, a year being woken up by 2 dogs. Yeah. And so I'm happy to have someone
commiserate with you.
Join in the club.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's how we did it. Nicely done. Unanimous. 855-33-WAY-FM. All you have to do is tell us your story of what happened, something that happened over the weekend. We'll go around the room, give you a boo or a yay, and you want to try and get those yays. 855-33-WAY-FM. What do you got?
To preface this, I work in healthcare, so it's important to do your, preventative maintenance. So it's kind of a boo-yay dual thing. I had my first colonoscopy.
No, boo! I know what that's like. But yay! Did they come back and say, hey, you got 10 years?
Actually, 3 years, because they did find a large polyp. So it's kind of a yay. They found it. It didn't turn into cancer.
Yeah, that is a boo, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to yay you for that because, then you find something and you can deal with it before it becomes a real big issue. Yeah. I had to have one of these as well, this procedure.
We tried to talk him into recording the whole thing because we wanted to, do the aftercast while he's getting his colonoscopy.
No, they put you under, and thank the Lord. I didn't want to look anyone in the eyes after that. They come in and they're trying to talk to you. Like, just put me back under. Just put me back under. Have my wife come in and wheel me out, and then we'll just reconvene over Zoom.
It's one of those things where you just duck and go afterwards.
That's it. That's it. What do you got?
Okay, so this weekend, the tornado hit Hendersonville, Tennessee. It was pretty severe, a lot of damage, cars and buildings. A lot of the town doesn't have electricity. But I manage the Kroger in Glenbrook, and the night that the tornado came through, we didn't have power. We were up all night, got the store open the next morning, had hot chicken available for everyone because we knew people didn't have power. We had our break room set up, coffee available, snacks, phone chargers. It was really great just seeing the store, provide that for the community and everybody come through.
Yeah, that was a bad tornado. 6 people lost their lives. There was 60 more hurt, plus all the damage. I love that you used your store to help people. I mean, that's 100% a yay for me. And I can see Betty Rock wanting to boo this. I'm not sure how.
No, there is no way I would ever boo this. I think that's fantastic. And what's so cool, too, is, Angie, I've actually been to that Kroger a couple of times. I have some friends that live down that way. But I just appreciate you doing what you're doing because I'm sure you got a lot of thank yous from a lot of people.
We did. People were very appreciative. Like I said, a lot of people don't have electricity. So just the fact that we had hot chicken all day provided for people. And then, like I said, the break room set up and we had heaters in the break room. So it was really warm and toasty and just comfortable.
It's funny how context determines value a lot of times, because when you're making chicken every day like you do, it can be a routine. We've got to make chicken. We're making chicken. Here you go. Chicken for your family. That's great. And it could be one of those things that you just don't think about. But then the tornado comes, and now all of a sudden making that chicken has a complete different purpose to it, a different mission, because now you're feeding people who might not be able to feed themselves that day. And that chicken, where it was just a job a minute ago, becomes a mission. And I love that you guys are doing that. So, hey, Angie, thank you for what you're doing for the people affected by the tornadoes. That's pretty cool. And that's 100% a yay from both of us.
Thank you. And chicken will be available. There's not going to be power in Hendersonville, apparently, for a few days.
I love it. Get your chicken at the Kroger.
That's right.
Monday School is what Wally learned at church in 3 minutes or less. Think of it as like the Twitter version of church.
So the story of the birth of Christ is the main story we usually focus on during this time of year, but we wanted to look at some of the stories at church of other people connected to the Christmas story. And I love this idea and how they process it and what their role is. So we've heard about the shepherds in the Bible, in the song, Go Tell It on the Mountain. You know that one, you know. They're like tending their flocks by night, blah, 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 and they're out there just doing their shepherd thing. And the angel of the Lord shows up to announce to them that the Savior of the universe has arrived, and they immediately say, let's go see this Messiah. So here were a couple key takeaways from the shepherd story that I thought are like super applicable to us. The shepherds acted when they heard from God. How many times does we know something is from God? We're like, is it? I don't know. Should I? Maybe not. Let me pray about it. Let me seek God. Yeah, and you wait. And when you know you should just act. And they actually just did it. Like, when you hear from God, go, kind of thing. But we wait a lot of times. The second important part of the story is that this was a birth announcement, and it was not delivered to the religious leaders of the day. It wasn't given to the politicians. It was the first time that the Savior was announced, and it was announced to shepherds. They were normal people, and this announcement showed that Jesus was for everyone, not just the elite of the day, not just the presumed special.
Well, and two, shepherds weren't a group of people that you looked up to.
No.
Like, usually they were outcasts.
Yeah, and they didn't smell the best.
They didn't.
Because they lived with the sheep and they had a hard life. But, the shepherds could have made a million excuses to not go. Hey, I'm going to lose my sheep, I'm going to lose my job. This is what we do as shepherds. We stay put. But they found their reason to go rather than an excuse not to. And the shepherds, when you think about it, though, they were the first preachers of the gospel, because the Bible talks about how they were ordinary people like us. They went, they saw, and they shared. Like, they came back to their normal lives, but they were different after meeting Jesus. And kind of, isn't that how our lives should be, right? Mm-hmm. We have this encounter with Jesus. We don't automatically all drop out and go to seminary. We still go to work. We still be a nurse. We still be a first responder. We still be a teacher. We still be a lawyer, whatever it is, And so, like, that should be our story as well. They just lived their normal lives, sharing about how they had been changed by this encounter with the Almighty. And
I love that.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that was really good. That just landed with me. So I guess the lesson is here: be a shepherd and don't be sheepish. So,
nice.
There you go. That's your Monday School.
It's easy to let the fear of the unknown keep us from doing something that is good for us. But going back to school might not be quite what you think.
Yeah, one of my biggest fears going back to school was I'd have to watch a ton of online lectures, and I kind of have a problem staying awake during stuff like that. But it was so different than I had imagined, and way better.
Yeah, for sure. I thought I was going to have to take a bunch of tests, which I am not a fan of. But instead, I was able to write papers, which for me was way better.
Plus, you have the flexibility to work in school around your work and life schedule. Another big fear I had is, what if I don't understand something? What do I do?
Yeah, CCU, they foster community with your classmates, and they are a great resource. And Colorado Christian University has very responsive online professors who are there to help you so you are never alone as an online student at CCU.
Learn more about how you can pursue your passion and find your calling with Colorado Christian University at ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a nonprofit impact partner committed to cultivating the mind without compromising the heart.
Uplifting Way FM.
Here's what's going on today.
So on Saturday, there were at least 21 reported tornadoes in Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi, and Alabama, and they were pretty destructive. 6 people lost their lives, and 60 more were injured, and Clarksville, Hendersonville, Madison, like they took a big hit. And beyond the pain of the loss of life, there was also a lot of damage to people's homes. If you've seen any of the video, you know, there are apartment buildings completely with no roof. There are neighborhoods where, you know, the house across the street is fine, and then the three across from them just gone.
Yeah,
it's gone.
It's odd how it works like that. It's like a tornado can just jump from one house to the next.
It's so random, you know. And we were having dinner with some friends, and they had a friend that was in Hendersonville, and his house was fine, but right across the street, everything was just gone. And that's hard, man. And I'm there's no words for it, really, when you see the devastation. Gavin, you were driving back from Indiana, right?
Yeah, we were supposed to drive back when everything was hitting, but I had to stay back. And then as we were driving through, I saw just trees all the way down. You saw power lines down, lights out everywhere. Like, it was a harrowing thing to drive through. Joy
from Middays had posted a thing on Instagram about she and her husband went out to dinner, and they had to hunker down in a bathroom and were praying with some random couple while this went down. Yeah, because they were in Hendersonville. And it's funny because, like, originally I saw that post and I was going to tell the story like it was my story. And, like, because we were on before her and totally just beat her story. And then, like, if you hear Joy, like, kidding around, you know. But then when I saw the severity of the situation, it's not funny, you know. And it's one of those things that people right now are going through loss. And loss is hard anytime. But around the holidays, it's even harder. And there's a bunch of people still without power. We had a lady earlier call. She's in that area, manages a Kroger, and they're helping provide food for people because they have power at their Kroger. And so, I mean, it's definitely one of those things that it's just a horror. It's never a good time, but it just seems worse during Christmas, you know. And so the good side of this, though, is when you see people come together in the midst of tragedy and living out their faith in a way to make a difference in people's lives. I think that has a beauty to it that is more powerful than the devastation even, you know, that story being told. And one of the ways, too, if you see any of this on the news or your heart kind of goes out to people, one of the ways you can help out is text the word convoy to 91979. We partner with Convoy of Hope. They are always on the ground first, getting help to people, and it can feel kind of hopeless or helpless, you know, sometimes. And so this is a great way that you could, if you wanted to do a little something over the holidays, or tell your kids, hey, there are some people that aren't going to have a Christmas. Maybe we can help out, you know, and look for ways to help, whether it's, you know, Convoy of Hope or through your local church, especially if you live in the Tennessee area, the Nashville area and stuff. You know, maybe you find a way to volunteer and help out, you know, during this time of year for these people. But there you go. That's going to do it for your news-ish for this morning. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. And Gavin, literally, while we were playing some songs there, I mean, took his life into his own hands with a question that he asked Betty Rock. I was surprised he was bold enough. He's like, do you get gray hairs? I'm like, what in the world? Why would you ask this man?
You have asked way worse questions
really?
than that. Yes.
That seemed way out of pocket there. And so, and she just said, yeah. And I'm like, oh,
well,
wow.
I thought it was very kind of him to ask that question, to even assume that at my age I don't get gray hair.
Right,
and that was very kind of you, Gavin. I think it was about your tone.
Yeah.
And, okay.
And again,
very
never seen a sliver of silver.
Yeah, that's so
over
sweet.
Here.
Yeah, okay. I've pulled one or two for her.
See, you need to learn from Gavin.
Here's the thing. I feel bad for women who dye their hair for whatever reason. Because the cost and the upkeep.
Cost alone.
Ridiculous.
Yes. I feel
horrible.
bad for you. I really do. Like, you don't do it to cover your grays, you know, but you...
Nice.
No, I don't mean
Nice.
that. See? How come
Nice.
Gavin could get away with it?
It's your face,
I
it's
said
your
you
tone.
don't do it to do that. You do it because you want the color that you like, you know.
No, I do it because I cover the grays.
Well, then why am I in trouble? That's
Because you're just shelling out lies.
So there's this lady named Randy, and after years of dyeing her hair, she decided to embrace her grays. She's only 39, and she has a full head of gray hair now. Like, she fought it for years. Like, she started going gray at like 17.
Oh.
And so she changed it, and then she finally decided, you know, not to do it anymore because she sold her house. She's kind of an influencer, like content creator, and traveled for a year. And she was finding it so hard to keep up with it while she was traveling all over the world and to find that person that's going to do your hair right or whatever. And she was like, this is crazy. I'm so tired of trying to manage my schedule and my life around hair dyes. Let's just do this. Let's go gray.
Yes.
And she did, and I love that. And she's like, I can always dye it back. It's not a big deal. But she has stuck with it.
Nice.
And she said it felt really empowering to see all these people supporting this and feeling that freedom from dyeing my hair. Oof. So she had that epiphany, that realization, that thing she declared her freedom from. And so that's what we want to talk about right now.
This is my freedom hair, my freedom hair.
So what is that thing that you, at some point in your life, were like, I'm declaring my freedom from this?
Or maybe you haven't yet, but you realize, wait, I kind of need to.
This could be your moment.
Yeah, and it could be looks-wise, like this woman.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's something in your personal life that you need to be free from.
Yeah, it could be something that you're struggling with. You could do that as well. So just whatever it looks like for you, that thing that you are declaring or have declared your freedom from. 855-33-WAY-FM. Because, man, when we get to that point where there's something that's kind of bound you and you let it go, it does feel amazing. Like you're not a slave to it anymore, 855-33-WAY-FM. If you want to share your story, we'd love to take it now. So what was it for you?
So a few years ago, my freedom moment was letting go of fertility issues.
Oh, that's a good one.
That we had dealt with for close to a decade and tried different things and just decided to let go and let God and enjoy our nieces and nephews and just settled into just what we have. And then in November of last year, after 14 years, we found out we were expecting.
No way.
And welcomed our first little boy in June of this year. And he's almost 6 months old and just living the best life.
I've heard more people have that story where the stress and trying to do everything medically and it didn't pan out. And then when they finally made peace with it and they were like, okay, God, this is our plan now, I guess, and we're going to follow you in this regardless of what it looks like. All of a sudden it happens for them. It's the craziest thing. And I'm not saying that happens for everybody, but that was your story. And it had to feel good when you let go of that, but then also even better when you got a blessing.
Yes. Oh, there was a lot of shock. I was in disbelief for a couple weeks.
Has this led you to maybe let go of a few more things in your life?
Oh, yeah. Just trying to have the right house, the right car, the right job, the right do this, do that. And it's like, there's way more important things. Just enjoy your moment.
Well, there you go. That's a great one, Elizabeth. We appreciate you being on with us. Oh, it's interesting, too, that you had a fertility journey. Your name's Elizabeth. Oh, you're in good company in the Bible. Remember that, Betty?
Yes, sir.
I see your face. You should read this book once in a while we talk about.
No, what it is just I can't assume that you're going to bring the Bible into any topic because I'm like, wait, he knows what they're talking about in that book?
Touche. What is that thing for you?
Shapewear.
Oh, like some Spanx?
Yep.
Okay, I could see where, like, for instance, I've never dealt with it myself, but I was with a friend who had some shapewear underneath a dress, and we were at this, like, nice event, and she whispered in my ear, she said, meet me in the bathroom. And I'm like, okay. So I follow her to the bathroom, and she's like, I just need you to help me get this shapewear off. She couldn't breathe anymore. She was just miserable. Yep. And I thought to myself, why do we as women put ourselves through so much just to be presentable? It's ridiculous.
It is. I had health issues for the last year and a half and put on a little bit of weight in there, trying to wear the shapewear. I'm 54. My body doesn't look the way it did when I was in my 20s.
Exactly. Was there one instance that made you realize, you know what, I'm going to give this up?
Just like your friend said, you can't breathe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's all you think about all day.
Is that I can't breathe?
Truth be told, TikTok is all over me for a men's shapewear T-shirt
No.
that pulls your gut in, and I've thought about it.
Oh, I think I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
No, no. I'm declaring my freedom from it. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and there's a very polarizing Christmas song called "The Christmas Shoes."
Sir, I want to buy these shoes for my mama, please.
It's a kid whose mom is passing away, so it's very serious, and he goes out to buy her shoes so that when she meets Jesus, she's going to look beautiful, know. And I know Betty Rock has a problem with this, but when I heard this song, there was something that struck me inside of this, and I'm kind of living this out. Betty Rock loves Buc-ee's and wanted a
That's an
beaver
understatement.
onesie, a Buc-ee's beaver onesie so badly.
I did.
That she threatened my life. And so inside of this, and she thinks that that's not an overreaction, but I feel that it was an overstep. And so the best way I know how to deal with things in my life and to share with you the story of what happened with me and Betty is through a parody of the Christmas shoe songs, because there are some similarities in the two stories.
So your feelings would be better expressed in a song.
I feel that that's the only way to fully capture this. So here is my Christmas shoe song about Betty's Buc-ee's onesie. That's not easy to say. It was almost Christmas time. There I stood in a Buc-ee's line. I'd already used their clean bathroom. Ate some brisket and cashews. There it was in front of me. A Buc-ee beaver small onesie. I remembered what Betty said. If I didn't get it, I would end up dead. So I gave it to the man. He took the money from my trembling hand. And when it was my time to pay, he said, blink once if you're okay. Sir, I need this onesie, please, for my friend Betty. It's Christmas Eve and this might just save my life.
Yeah, it just might.
Could you hurry, please? Betty says there's not much time. You see, she always seems to get her way. And if I'm late, she says I'll pay. She needs that Buc-ee's onesie, or she'll help me meet Jesus tonight.
Super good.
Hand to God, true story.
I don't think I'm elaborating when I say that is your best work ever.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, I was scared to write it, actually.
When you say that glass is half full,
Instead of just being half full,
or is it half empty?
we'll top off your glass. It's news-ish on The Wally Show.
What you got, Gavin?
For me, there's nothing much sadder than seeing a dog, or a cat for that matter, start to go gray in the face, or you start to see kind of their eyes start to get a little foggy.
Some of those commercials where they show the puppy and then it grows up with the family and then it's old and it can't walk up the stairs. You're like, stop!
Now, my dog, Ellie, she's 9 years old right now.
Is she really?
We got her when she was 4, and I looked at a picture of her when I was 4, and I looked at her then. I was like, Grandma, you're getting old over there. So she's starting to
She's
get
9, so she's 36. So that's like right around 7 years per dog year, I think. So
That's
she's
63.
36. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, 9. Yeah, oh, wow.
Just
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
If she was 4, she'd be 36.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
she's
don't get
older.
smarter with age.
No, you do not.
Okay, but there is hope on the horizon for helping extend the life of your good boy or your good girl. And I will be honest, this is about like dogs. So
Sure, no one cares about
I'm
cats.
sorry to all the cat
I get it.
people who have to hear this. So there's this company called Loyal. They say that they have a drug that could potentially extend the life of large breed dogs, and that it's getting closer to being approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. So for large dogs, like above 40 pounds, they say that the average life expectancy is between 10 and 13 years old.
Yeah.
So that is hard for me.
Yeah,
as a
you're right there. You're right
owner
in
who's
there.
on that cusp. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I better enjoy these last few years. But so this drug that they're working on getting closer through, it's designed to prevent age-related canine diseases rather than waiting until symptoms appear. And so we're getting a little bit preventative with this. Right now, they say that they're still going through some final testing stages and waiting to see what the possible side effects are. But I think it's interesting, for me at least, because there are days when I'm like, well, I think that there's, a life well lived. I don't necessarily need to go and add 3 or 4 or 5 years to Ellie's life.
Right.
I don't always think that. I think she's lived a good life, but I can understand for some people who maybe 10 years, if you could extend
it's
their
their
life,
best friend
and it's a good life. If this medicine works to give dogs a good life versus just keeping them around.
Like I hate going to the vet when they make you feel guilty. Like, okay, now if she has cancer, it's going to be $2,000 a month, and you're like, well, she's 15, and I wouldn't do this for me.
Sure.
Big question here. You have one dose of this, Gavin. One dose of anti-aging dog medicine. And you have Ellie and Jasper. Who gets it? If they're the same age, who gets it?
Ellie.
I'm
sorry, Jay.
He doesn't listen to the show, does he?
Bless.
Okay, good. Yeah, I would not leave the radio on while you come to work.
Bless.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. When Pastor Chad is not in the building being loud or walking around, he does some work, and we appreciate that about him. He sent me this thing that I thought was really good. It was YouVersion, you know, the digital version of the Bible on your phone, the app. They had their most downloaded or most viewed verse of the year. Any idea what you think that might be? I mean, there's so many verses. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
I got to go to the classic, John 3:16.
Yeah, no, not that one, actually. This one's out of the Old Testament, Isaiah.
Oh. I would have guessed maybe Jeremiah 29:11.
Oh, that's another good one.
For
I know the plans that I have for you to bless you and prosper you, not harm you,
hurt you.
Like the blind leading the blind.
No, it's not. You had no idea.
So
okay.
Isaiah.
Yeah. So Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteousness right hand. So it's like, that's a great verse, especially if you're walking through something. I can see why people will be like, man, I'm going through something and I'm fearful. I have anxiety. I'm anxious about this. I need peace. I need comfort. And that's a great verse for that. But what we want to talk about with you is, so that was the most downloaded one. But what was the verse that you hung on to at some point in time this year? That verse that maybe hit you different than it ever has before, and you're like, oh my gosh, Lord, this is what I need in this moment right now. Because there's so many great verses, but context determines meaning sometimes. Because you could hear a verse 1,000 times, and then all of a sudden your context or your life circumstances around you change, and instantly that verse has a brand new meaning to you. And so I'd love to hear yours, because, again, when you share these stories, you have no idea how this might land with somebody else today that's sitting there in a similar situation and trying to figure their way through it. And they need some hope. They need some peace. And then all of a sudden you bust this out and it's like, oh, that's exactly what I needed. You know, I think that's how God works. He uses us all, you know, sharing our experiences and our story to help each other. So 855-33-WAY-FM is the number. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. If you want to share that verse that you kind of clung to this year, that'd be awesome. What was a verse, though, that maybe wasn't that one, but you hung on to and found yourself needing this year?
So I have found myself going to James 1, verses 2. 2 is really one. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. So in times that I'm in trials, I've clung to this count it all joy, and it's so hard at times, but if we count it joy, it produces in us something that the trial, if not going through, it wouldn't produce.
That's the thing, man. Learning to count pain for joy is so hard, you know, because in the middle of something, you're like, Lord, why have you forsaken me? This is horrible. But when you have that perspective shift of, hey, this will produce something good, that's altering in your faith.
Well, and you know, like right after that part, it says, let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing.
That at least is a nice ending to that story about counting your pain joy, but then like ending with lacking in nothing.
You have to keep going.
Well, Shelby, thanks for being on the show with us today.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much.
What is a verse that you clung to? Because obviously a lot of people like that one, but what's your kind of verse of the year, Daphne?
Mine is a little bit different than most. So John 20, verse 4 is my to-go verse, especially when I'm down in the dumps. It gives me a good laugh and reminds me the human condition. And it is, both were running, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first.
So are you the fast or slow disciple in this scenario?
Oh, man, I could be both, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why did John feel like it was necessary to put that in the Bible? Like, I outrun him, so I got there first.
They were super competitive. Like, all of the people around Jesus were always vying for sitting on the right hand of God. Like,
they weren't perfect people.
No, not at all. That's what I love about the disciple story. So why does this land with you so much, Daphne?
It just reminds me to, keep running. 2, even if I'm the last one, like, I'm still in God's book, no matter what, you know?
What was the verse, though, for you, JC, that was an important verse for you this year?
It really came to life for me this year. It was John 13:7, and Jesus answered him, "What I am doing, you do not understand now, but afterward you will understand."
Ooh, that seems so applicable to so many life situations for sure.
Oh, yes. Basically, I've been battling a custody battle for about 8 years, and everybody and my mother has been praying and praying and praying. Well, this year, it's like everything God opened up, and everything is now exactly what we've prayed for. So I just like to encourage people and say, don't stop praying, because prayer is powerful.
And I'm sure at times when you weren't seeing the answer to your prayer, it was probably tempting to stop praying.
Oh, very much. And I mean, there was anger, there was resentment, and then this year it all came to a head, and we were like, wow, God, you're so awesome.
Well, I'm glad that you had that verse to remind you to be steadfast and to stay in your faith and to hope for a resolution that maybe, you didn't understand at the moment, but when it comes, it makes more sense and you see God's hand in it.
Oh, 100%. Whenever God steps in, his timing is not our timing.
Yeah.
So I encourage everyone to keep praying. God hears your prayers.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. This is The Rock Report with Betty Rock.
Speaking as someone who is not invested into any team sport, I am blown away at the amount of money we are willing to pay a pro athlete to sign with a certain team. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
For instance, and the reason that I'm going to get on a little soapbox here is because recently I went to a store and the girl that was checking me out, she is a full-time teacher. And so over the weekend, she has a part-time job working for this store.
Okay.
And I think that is just terrible. Teachers deserve more money, especially when you're going to find out what I'm about to tell you, which is shocking.
Quick question. Can she throw a fastball?
Or hit a home run?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She's teaching the next generation.
Okay.
She deserves money. Okay. So take, for instance, Shohei Ohtani.
Wow.
Yeah.
Knock that out of the park.
You've hit that every single time you've tried to say it today. Home run.
I've had to put it in pronunciation. I've had to really work on it. Shohei Ohtani. Okay. The man just signed the biggest deal in baseball history.
What is it worth?
The LA Dodgers now have him contracted for 10 years, and after offering him $700 million.
What?
$700 million
Almost
to one
$1 billion.
man.
How do you afford that?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, I'm not going to ask Wally because he's not very sporty either.
Sure.
Gavin, as the sportsman here, is that ridiculous or no?
Most people predicted and projected around $600 million.
Oh my
This guy
gosh.
just had Tommy John surgery on his elbow. So he's
not even perfect.
He's not even perfectly healthy. He's 29 years old.
Is he that good?
29?
He is the best baseball player in the last few years. He is very, very good.
Yeah.
That was a number that none of us even thought was possible. And I wanted my team to sign him, so I was kind of bummed to see that. But then at the same time, like, that's a lot. There are literal teams out there, because his contract average is $70 million a year.
$70 million a year.
There are teams that's payroll might be half of that.
That isn't. I don't know how they can do that.
And here's the thing: they say that there's people living in poverty and all, and it is terrible, and we should do what we can to help. But I would love to see the LA Dodgers stand up and help people in need.
The LA Dodgers spending $700 million on this guy, and then if you walk just a few blocks over from their stadium, it is Skid Row in LA. It's so bad. That money could make a big difference. But who's to blame? Who's to blame here?
Not me.
No.
Gavin.
It is kind of on me.
Gavin.
It's my fault.
Yeah.
Because we go and we spend all of our money on the games, the jerseys, all of that stuff. And I'm not going to be ashamed of it because I love sports and I try to be generous in other ways. But like it results in hundreds of millions of people.
It's what we value. That's what we value in society.
Yes, priorities are wrong here. When teachers are having to have part-time jobs and then we've got homeless epidemic. Come on, $700 million to one man.
Oh, I get it. It doesn't. It definitely on the surface doesn't seem right. But then it's like CEOs making hundreds of millions of dollars. They perform a service that other people can't do.
Yep.
He performs a service that other people can't do. If we ever stop going to games, if we make it as a society where we don't elevate that, then the price comes down. But we still do it.
He is literally a man that is a pro at hitting a ball with a stick.
Oh, he's a pitcher. He doesn't even hit a ball with a stick.
No, he does both. That's
is he a good hitter?
So he's a fantastic. He's probably one of the best hitters in the game, and
that
he's one of the best pitchers.
Often.
So he is special. He's a unicorn. He deserves that money from
he deserves that
He's
money.
a unicorn.
That's awesome. All right, that's going to do it for your Rock Report. Thank you, Lady Rock. Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and we're going to play a game here. It's the secret sound game, okay? Ooh. Like, I have a sound from a video that was making the rounds online. I thought it was a really cool video. But when I pulled the sound, I'm like, I don't think anyone will guess what this sound is for. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you'll hear it and instantly know because it was something that kind of went viral. I don't know. So here is the sound in question. It's that tick, tick, tick. And then everyone clapping. So what do you think that is, Lady Rock?
Well, I was thinking of one thing, but then I hear at the very end the crowd cheering.
Yeah.
So that makes me think something different.
Oh, okay. What were you thinking first?
What do you call those things that's like supposed to help you keep time?
Metronomes.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's not that, because why would anyone with a metronome be up there and everybody cheers for me?
Unless it was like performance art.
No.
Okay.
No. Also, it was off.
Okay. So the timing wasn't perfect.
I think it was a guy bouncing a ping pong ball.
Oh, good.
And trying to set a world record.
Oh, I like that.
Dadgummit. Like, have you seen the video? Have you seen the video? Right? This is the worst. Right. I can't believe it. You just got that right. Oh, game over. Right. Betty Rock just stole your prize.
Right.
That's what I would say if she was right. But she is wrong. 100% wrong.
So drawn out.
Okay.
Could not be farther off. Embarrassingly so.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So there you go. That is the secret sound. It's very simple. All you have to do is tell me what is that secret sound. And we'll take a bunch of calls on this till someone gets it right. Or if no one gets it right, we'll maybe bump it till tomorrow, too. I'm just curious how long this will hold up. 855-33-WAY-FM. First few lines ringing now. Could they be right? Could they have the answer? 855-33-WAY-FM. What do you think that secret sound is?
I think it's a roller coaster.
Oh, like when you're going up the roller coaster and it's got the gears going click, click, click,
click, click, click.
Yeah.
And then everyone's screaming as they let you go.
Yes. That is a really, really, really great guess. But unfortunately, it is really, 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 really wrong.
But that was a good guess. That was one I didn't even think about.
It's a fantastic guess. So apparently this is harder than I thought. Even though it was kind of a viral video making the rounds, it is apparently tougher to get than I thought it was going to be. Christine, we appreciate you being on the show with us today. Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless, and happy holidays.
Same to you, girl. All right, Kathy, you're up. What do you think our secret sound is today?
A timer?
A timer. Yeah, like maybe a kitchen timer or a timer somewhere just counting something down.
That makes sense, but then why would a big crowd be cheering it on?
Like a concert at a concert.
Yeah, a concert, a sporting event, something like
Yeah.
that. It click, 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 like, yes, here we go. Unfortunately, that is not right either. Kathy, great guess, but no, this is going to be tough. We might be playing this game tomorrow and maybe the next day. We're going to keep this going until somebody finally gets it right. So the only hint is it is a video that kind of went viral, and it actually is kind of sweet, too. So, Kathy, thanks for being on with us. I hope you have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to give it to you one more time to see if you can figure this out. The only hint I will give you on this is that it actually is a really sweet video. So there you go. That's it. That's all the hints you get.
A kid clapping.
Well, there were kids clapping, but that's not what the sound was. There was kids clapping at the end. So 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM if you think you know. What do you think that sound was for our secret sound game?
Was it the one where the boy's dribbling the basketball and he's blind and he scores the hoop?
That is absolutely right. Nicely done. Yeah, the kid is visually impaired, and there's somebody behind the basket hitting it with a stick. That's what the clicking is, because that helps him use his ears to kind of hone in on where he needs to shoot the shot. And then the crowd goes nuts when he shoots the ball and makes a basket, which is crazy. That video was so sweet, man, and I'm glad I got to see that.
I'm a special needs mom, though, too, so I love videos like that. It makes me so happy to see stuff like that, kids succeeding. So I knew as soon as I heard it, I was like, yes, that one.
My nephew has real limited mobility because he has CP, and he was like the team manager for a basketball team, and then he got to get in the game and like shot a three-pointer and made it, and it was the whole high school just went nuts. It was really a cool moment, so I love these things.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Well, Allison, you did great. You were the only person to figure it out today, so you were winning a prize.
Woo! Oh, awesome. Thanks so much.
Only problem is, Rock, I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. I kind of figured this was going to go a little longer, so. All right, well, thanks, Allison.
And now for some good news.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and some good news that came out of the NFL, which I was kind of surprised because I don't watch a lot of the NFL per se. I watch the last couple minutes of a game when I come across it.
Gavin is passionate about it.
I love hearing this music.
Yeah, it feels good, doesn't it?
Okay.
So this was interesting. This was in a game like a week ago. Bengals Trey Hendrickson, he kind of went viral for helping Trevor Lawrence. Now, Trey is a defensive end, and Trevor is the quarterback who has a sweet mullet, it looks like.
He does, yes.
He does, yeah. Okay.
It's good head of hair.
So they're playing the game. He tackles him, and he goes to help him up, and then all of a sudden, Trevor goes back down. Like he hurt his ankle, I guess.
He did.
And they didn't know why he was going back down. He just dropped back down to the ground.
Not Mullet Man.
No, not Mullet Man. He's not. He's invincible, apparently. He's not invincible. But then it was interesting because Trey, without missing a beat, takes off his helmet and then drops to a knee and starts praying for him.
What? Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the kind of thing you see happen in the NFL. Remember when the guy who had the heart attack?
Yeah, Damar Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin, thank you. I knew he would remember. I knew he would remember.
You knew it happened.
Yeah,
I mean.
but like the whole NFL, like prayer became a thing.
They even did that on ESPN, right?
Yes, exactly.
They canceled the game too. Like they did a great job of like taking that moment to care about a life more than the money in the game.
Yeah, and so I think that this is cool to see guys, especially people that we elevate to hero status, have themselves be humbled before God and kind of demonstrate their faith. I think it's guys that connects with us for sure. And there was a funny difference too, because this guy Trevor gets hurt and he rips off his helmet and he throws it because he's hurt. He doesn't, he obviously, and he's mad and he's hurt. But then the other guy's first instinct was to take his helmet off and pray. And it's two very different reactions in the same scenario kind of thing. Yeah, so I thought that was cool. The response to Trey doing this was great. And there's something, again, about men that will humble themselves before God that I think connects with people, and especially a bunch of macho guys, watching football, see that, and it makes them go, that's good. I respect that. Maybe it makes them connect a little bit with their faith as well. So there you go. That was a really cool God moment inside the NFL.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.